Hey everybody, I want to show y'all a technique slash concept that I use a lot in my playing. I use this a lot when I'm accompanying somebody, but you can also use this if you're a singer-songwriter accompanying yourself, or you can use this full band. You can even play this on electric. So I'm going to play y'all a piece that I probably play every single time I pick up an acoustic guitar. It's just something for me that I can turn my brain off and just go with what my ear hears. So I'm going to play it for you, and then we're going to break down the techniques and concepts behind it. So what I just played for you, I probably don't play the same way each time. It's always kind of new, but it's for something for me that allows me to create freely and without really thinking. So I'm going to show you the concepts and take those and practice those until your brain doesn't really have to think about them and just listen to your ear. So we're in the key of D, and we're using a lot of open strings. So I'm in standard tuning, but I think what I really like about this is there's so many open strings that it kind of gives you that same feel that an open in tuning does without all the headache that goes behind that. So we've got a D chord right here. It's like our standard D that you usually see. We're just going to lift our middle finger up and play the open E string. So this is a D2 chord. From there, we're going to walk up. So we've got D here. We've got our D bar chord up here. And we've got our D bar chord up here. So while we're playing over the D, those are our target notes here in first position, and then here, and then here. And everything in between that is within the key, but we're using some passing notes to get to those chords. So we've got this D here, and to get up here, I'm going to use the 4th fret on the G string, and then the 3rd fret on the B string. And this is kind of like our G bar chord, right? We're just taking some notes out. And then we're going to move that up 2 frets. It's kind of like your A bar chord. Again, we're just taking some notes out until we land up here. So I've got 7th fret on the D string, and then 7th fret on the B string. Right? So you can mix and match the order of that. So you can go, or you can start here, or you can start here, or you can play it backwards. So just kind of mess around with that, see what works best for you. Go with whatever your ear is telling you, but that's there available to kind of mix and match and get some voicings over your D chord. We're going to keep moving up, so going from this D here, we're going to go to the 9th fret on the G string and the 8th fret on the B string. So I'm kind of visualizing here, kind of like your E minor bar chord. Doesn't sound like an E minor. It's kind of like a D suspended. But in my head, I'm thinking this, so I can kind of know where I'm at. We're going to move 2 more frets up to our target D here. So it's just like this D bar chord. We're just removing some notes. So we've got the 11th fret on the G string, and then we've got the 10th fret on the B string, And that's what we're keeping out of this. So we're going to remove the bar, remove these other fingers. We're just going to keep that. Right? So let's go back down here. Right? Now we can also go up to here. So we've got 12th fret on the G string, and then 12th fret on the B string. And then we can move that up 2 more frets as well. So let's just go from top to bottom. So you really have all those note choices available to use freely over a D chord, and some of these even work over your G and your A, but I primarily use it over a D chord unless I'm playing with a full band. So mix and match those, see what sounds best to you. Now when I go to the G, I'm playing my normal G chord here, but I'm removing the pointer finger from this 2nd fret on the B string, and then I'm removing my pinky, and then I'm going to place my pointer finger on the 2nd fret on the E string to make a G major 7. So you don't need to know all the technical theory notes or terms behind that, but I typically start here and just move this pointer finger and pinky to whatever my ear hears. So I'll do something like... something like that. That gives me a nice big open sound and gets you out of this. Sounds kind of honky, a little boring, so something like that. Then we're going to move to the A. So you're welcome to play the A like this, or maybe an A7. But in the example I showed you, I played it pretty open. So I'm using the open A string, then I'm using the D string 7th fret, and then I'm using the 6th fret on the G string, and I'm playing the rest open except for this low E string. So, and then we can make it a suspended here by adding our pinky on the 7th fret of the G string. I'm just kind of going with whatever I hear, so let's start back at the G. You know, just feel free to add that extra note in there to taste. And then you can resolve in any D position that we've covered, so you can resolve here, you can resolve here, or you can try to resolve any note that I've covered in here. So you know, whatever works best for you, whatever works best for your song. Let's move now to spreading these notes out so they're not in this position. I'm going to show you a way to get some more chord changes in here, but remain in some easy positions to play in. I stole this from Dave Matthews, so I cannot take credit for the chord voicings, but I use these a lot. So up here we've got our D that we've covered. Let's take the B string out of here, and instead we're gonna put our finger on the 10th fret on the E string here. We're gonna block this B string. I played it, but we're gonna block it. Right? And then we're gonna just walk that down. So from here we've got D. We're gonna walk this down to 9th fret and 9th fret. We're staying on the same strings. 7th fret, 7th fret. Then we've got 5th fret and then the 6th fret. 5th fret, E string, 6th fret, G string. Take that down 2 more frets. So we've got 3 and we've got 4. Then we've got 2 and 2. Then we've got open on the E string. We've got open on the G string. Whenever I get to here, I usually play just a regular E minor. So let's walk that back up. So I find this way of playing the chords a lot easier to get some of the chord changes in there. So you might do something like, if you've got a progression that goes D to B minor to G to A, you might do. And then we might go back to our old way of playing D. So mess around with that. I know I went over this very fast. I'm going very high level over this stuff, but just take what I've shown you, and you can pause, you can slow down, and see if you can incorporate that into your own playing. For me, I find it allows me to play a lot more dynamically rather than being stuck in these kind of chords that we're used to learning at first. Which are great and they have their purpose, but let's say you've got a solo section and you're a songwriter and you've been playing the same chords for 4 minutes. Not that you need to bust out a solo, but maybe playing some different chord voicings in there can open up your song. So maybe you've been playing this. Now we're going to the solo. So you can use that, throw it in, just take this stuff, memorize it to where you don't have to think about it, and see what it does for your playing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if what I showed you helped you out at all in your playing, please leave a comment below. And until next time, y'all have a good one.